out to me was she referred me back to an event that she attended, and she said that I could add value for job seekers or anybody who are attending those events. So I did a similar kind of thing a couple of months or years back. It's related to an event. So prior to the event, what all you need to do to make networking more effective. So she wanted me to have a similar kind of session. So I thought, okay, let me get into it, help you network or make use of this session very well. The reason for that is it takes a lot of effort to bring 11 companies together into one platform. I'll give you the analysis based on my interaction. Now, let's say you want to get in touch with a hiring manager or a recruiter, you want to speak to them. It would take you continuous efforts of at least 4 to 5 weeks of using your network, using the best marketing tools, and also ensuring that the you have the right kind of skills that the recruiter or the hiring manager is looking for, right? So it's in that market, it's especially in 2025 onwards, it has become very difficult to get the attention of a recruiter or a hiring manager. So what Women in AI Canada and Parisa has done is they have brought in 11 companies together. So 11 in roughly average of 5 to 6 members in each of the team. You get to speak to the recruitment team, you get to speak to the product team, you get to speak to the tech team or the hiring managers in the tech team. So that is the chance in one day where you can meet all the people which would have been really difficult to have a conversation with. So that opportunity is not something to be missed. And when Parisa reached out to me, I thought, yes, because the effort that they have taken, you need to also ensure that you're taking all the steps from your end to go to that event prepared. So we are going to help you prepare yourself very well, right? Obviously, you have your resume with you, which is fact checked. There are no errors. It is according to the Canadian standard, and it has all the relevant skills that are required for the roles that you're applying for. That is, of course, priority number one. One additional thing that I would request all, if there is time, is to add a portfolio link. If you have a GitHub, if you have a case study, if you have anything that is related to your projects, please do put that into your resume, right? A GitHub link, a portfolio link, if it is a Power BI link or anything that is there. Ensure that your resume has a LinkedIn link itself, right? Do ensure that, and also in your LinkedIn, ensure you have your face, you have all the necessary information before you pass it on, right? Also, one another key factor is there'll be a lot of people in that event. If you're networking, it is good to have LinkedIn in your mobile. So install the app and ensure that it is done properly, right? So those are the ground rules before we start the session. Now, the reason that I asked for Parisa whether I spelled her name correct is that is where you start, right? When introducing yourself. So I've not met Parisa before in person, right? Or we have not talked before the session, right, Parisa?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I have a question for you, Parisa. Now, let's say we are meeting in the hall in that event that you're conducting, and you're the hiring manager, and I am the job seeker. Okay, I come up to you and then I say, hi, Parisa. I introduce myself. We one or two lines of introduction is done, and then uh, I say that, hey, Parisa, do you know that IBM has launched a new AI automation in Watson, which would help in in medical imaging being done automatically and diagnostic features being added, right? Would it spark your interest, Parisa?
Definitely.
Yeah. Why?
Because for two reasons. First, I know that I will get a level of understanding of where you're sitting at with the technology. And second is that like I'm learning something new. So
Yeah. So I just did a 2 second search to on Parisa, and I found that her in her projects and in her profile, she has mentioned that she has done something on imaging, right? She has done a project on imaging, and I, being in tech, I know that IBM Watson is doing a lot of things on imaging and AI, and they're collaborating all those things together. So those are conversation starters that you can get other people interested in. So that is the whole idea of networking. So let's jump into the session. We'll have it interactive. We'll have a Q&A. If you have any queries, you want to interrupt any time in between the session, please feel free and ask your questions. We will definitely take it up, right? Okay, let's go to the session. I hope you can see my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of you all have registered for the fourth annual Ontario Career Fair on July 7th, which already tells me something about this particular group, that you are taking action and you are taking things in your own hand. In the sense, you are not waiting for recruiters or hiring managers to find you. You're not waiting for opportunities to find you, right? The reason I'm saying this is because um, Toronto, I'm just taking Toronto's number right now, but overall, it's somewhat similar. So Toronto's unemployment rate is hovering around 7.6, 7.9 through the first half of 2026. So we already finished half this year. So it's the fourth largest among Canada's major cities as per as TD Economics and the Fraser Institute. So youth unemployment is close to 1 in 5. So among 5 people, one person is definitely unemployed and is looking. What that means in this market is the competition is very high. So everybody is trying to do a little bit better and trying to get in front of the hiring manager. So this is what is happening, right? Uh, I'm going to just have 5 slides on how to network like a pro. The whole thing is try understand what it is. If you have any query, we'll definitely discuss it. Okay. The first thing that you do in how do people recognize you or people remember you, right? So wear a what's it to spark a conversation. In the sense, let's say everywhere that you go for this networking event, everywhere where everyone wears a blazer and a tie, sorry, a blazer and pants or a particular colored dress, try to be an odd man. I'm not saying wear yellow, but definitely a label pin, something that makes you stand out, right? It could be not to be too flashy, but definitely when people have the confidence, because understand from the recruiter or the hiring manager's point of view, they're staying in the venue for at least 7 to 8 hours. Let's say they meet on an average 80 to 90 people. How will they remember all these people in that 6 7 hours that they're there, right? There has to be something along with whatever you are trying to communicate that they remember because they have seen it for the first time. It could be even it could be if you're wearing a suit, it could be a red or a yellow handkerchief. Your tie could be different. You need not the objective of being different is based on science, where it's called the von Restorff effect, first documented by psychiatrist Hedwig von Restorff. What he said was that distinctive features get disproportionately better recall than everything else in the same list. So let's say there are 90 people, same kind of profile, same kind of um, activity, same kind of skills. How do you differentiate the people, right? It has to be mannerism. It has to be something that sparks that interest in that particular person, right? So that could also be in the conversation when you're introducing yourself. Don't make it very blunt about saying that, hey, I've done my course in this particular stream. I am working 3 4 years in AI. I have built on this. Those are things that everybody says nowadays. What apart from that makes you memorable? You could be, I also have a dog called Rogers, or I have a bird that I like. So how do you spend your free time, or what are one of your hobbies, or what are you passionate about? If there is an award that you have won, let's say you are in the youth club, or you are volunteering and you have done blood donation, anything that would highlight you as a 360-degree individual rather than just a template from a resume or a LinkedIn, right? That is what is going to make you memorable. So wear it, and also add a conversation hook. In marketing, it's called a hook. In conversation, those are called conversation starters or ice breakers. Mention those in that, right? Because recruiters see hundreds of faces and they remember the watch it, not the handshake. Because they are shaking hands with everybody, they don't remember your handshake. But if if you have a pleasant smile, regardless of whether you have a pleasant smile or not, you should greet others with a smile, right? Because it is very infectious. If you are smiling, the other person is also forced to smile, and what happens is it's a mutual bond or mutual effect that both of you convey, right? So that is one thing. When so plan it in a way that every stall that you go, you ensure that there is some enthusiasm from your side. It shouldn't be that, okay, I'm coming to your stall, I'm visiting 11 other stalls or 10 other stalls. This is how it is going to be. One thing that you also have to do is ensure that if even if you are visiting all the 11 stalls, you take a break in between, because it is going to be exhausting. You're going to talk to people for 2 to 3 minutes. You're scanning a lot of information, you're gathering a lot of information, and then you're moving to the next shot. So take time to take breaks, have a bottle of water with you always. And those are things that will, you will not notice the importance of it, but it carries a lot of weight, especially when you want to be fresh, even when you're visiting the 11th stall. Just want to gauge the audience. If you on the chat, if you could give me how many of you have less than 5 years of experience, and how many of you have more than 5 years of experience, and if it is in anything unique that you want me to remember you by, one line as to, or one word as to what is unique about you, if you could put it in the chat, I would like to take it up, right? Okay, let's move to the next one. From your end, when you're meeting a person, right? What is a mental frame that you have? You will not be able to remember all the 11 people whom you met. You'll not be able to remember all the 11 companies that you have met. You'll not be able to remember all the conversation that you have with those people, right? Take notes. It could be on your phone. You could do a voice recording. You could write it down. I prefer the old method. Nowadays, I have also used Google Keep to sync my notes, but it's all up to you. How do you want to remember the conversation, right? Uh, so it all depends upon what are the questions that you're asking. Are you asking, do they have a job? Or are you trying to find if they have a relevant job or not? Or are you trying to understand what are the projects that they are working on? Right? So when you're having this conversation with this person, let's say you're meeting Adam, and the moment you meet him, connect Adam with someone. If there is an Adam in your life, a friend or someone there, if you have that Adam, connect this Adam to that particular person, right? Okay, so we have so 70% of you have more than 5 years of experience. So that means you have more than at least 5, 10 times you have done these kind of events where you've gone to these tech events, and you might have not gotten ROI from it, right? We are trying to ensure that you get maximum benefit out of it. So that is the whole part. Okay. So Dua Mohammed also has machine learning and biomedical imaging. Okay. So we have a reference point here. LinkedIn survey found that profiles with a smiling face got 21% more views and 36% more messages than in neutral expression photos. Same psychology, different medium, right? When you're in person or when you're using your online profile. So I did this in end of April this year. Uh, there was a senior person who was doing LinkedIn marketing. He was building portfolios and he was helping people brand better. So I decided to take up on his offer and I said, can you review my LinkedIn profile and can you share how can I improve it? I was pretty good because I've been using it for the last 20 years. But I'm constantly trying to improve myself, right? I'm trying to market better. I'm trying to do a lot of things with LinkedIn. The first question that he asked me is, I've still not made the change, but the first question that he asked me is, Sajid, why aren't you smiling? Because in my LinkedIn profile, you would find that I'm not smiling. So he said that that is something that puts off a lot of recruiters. So you need to smile. So he had given me around 10 points to modify. I've done it on a face manner because I want to take each one of what he has said, implement it, test it to see for 2 weeks, see whether that change is impacting how my LinkedIn profile changes, and then make the move. I don't want to rush and do all the 10 strategies together. So I take one strategy, implement it, wait for 2 weeks, but I do measure the metrics and see whether that has made a change so that I know which is having more impact, right? So the mental trick is to remember this person so that next time you're having the conversation, let's say, Adam, you have a friend called Adam, and you relate with the person whom you're meeting in the event with a lost friend, right? That is how you remember about the conversation. Because let's say you're not able to take all the notes down regarding the conversation, because you remember Adam, you would remember the conversation that you have had with Adam because he's a long lost friend. I don't know whether you've seen Mel Robbins' Instagram pages. So the reason I'm asking you to see that in between your networking event is you will get tired. In the sense, you will be bombarded with facts. You will really get fogged with the kind of information that is coming to you. Even with AI, it has hallucination. With human beings, it's definitely the case, right? Zig Ziglar famously told that people often say that motivation doesn't last. I know for a fact, having spent the last 20 years conducting a lot of networking events, being part of it, being a host, being a speaker on those events, that motivation does not last in a networking event. So neither does bathing, right? This was the Ziegler quote. People often say that motivation doesn't last, neither does bathing. That is why we recommend doing it daily. So what I would want you to do is, if you have gone to 2 or 3 events, take a break, have a water break, have a coffee break, go to Instagram and see Mel Robbins' um, one or two of her Instagram posts. The reason being is she shares amazing content into self motivation, self realization, and also how to keep your spirits up. So that is something that she does, and it brings out that positive energy to continue doing whatever you're doing. The third one is refine your networking. What is the objective of going to these events? Are you trying to know more about the company? Are you trying to get in touch with the recruitment team or the hiring manager? Or are you trying to figure out whether they have a role for you, right? Typically in these networking events, when the hiring manager or the recruitment team um, get to get roughly around 80, let's say there are 200, 300 members visiting the stalls. Each of those members would get around 80 to 90 members visiting that individual stall, right? They will not make the hiring decision, or they will not have the two things that they will do. They will explain their product. So they're also marketing their company. They're also marketing the kind of roles that they have. They're also marketing what are the new projects that they have, right? They're always looking at good talent. But they will not make any decision at that point of time. So what they will say is share your resume with us or drop in your resume. We will get back to you. Typically, if they're asking you to share your resume there, I would also ask you to ask them their email ID or their official email ID where you can send the resume, because it's always good to follow up with the digital copy. So remember where to send it up. So nowadays it is automated. They have you logging in with your email ID, you upload your resume, and it goes directly to the ATS system. So that is it. The questions that you need to ask them are, what are the exciting projects that they have? Why are they in that space right now? What are the kind of roles that they're hiring for? You could also ask them what are the skills that they're hiring for. And if there is a connect in terms of skills, in terms of projects, dig deeper. Based on your knowledge, do ask deeper questions so that the hiring manager or the recruitment or the tech team, since they are already there, they can explain more about what they do. That is a golden opportunity to get insights. So we call it market intelligence. I say basically it is intelligence. It is one advantage that you will get when applying or reaching out to that company that people who have not visited that event gets. In the sense, you would know specific details of projects or get insights as to what roles they're hiring, what are the skills that they're looking, and you would know how to modify or customize your resume based on that particular company. Those are valuable insights that you need to note it down and take it with you, right? To implement it later. You must have all heard about Adam Grant. In his decade of research, there are different kind of people, right? There are people who are givers, takers, and matchers. So givers are people who want to give before they take, right? There are takers who are seeking a lot of information or seeking from other people. And then there are matchers. Matchers are who match the givers and takers. So there are three kind of people according to him, right? Giving is also contagious in the sense, if you want to give someone, so let's say this event is being held, you know that this event is being held. How many of you have shared this event with another colleague or friend of yours who is job searching or who wants to know about these kind of events, right? How many of you have done that? The reason I'm saying that is it is physically not possible for you to have a pulse about everything that is happening in your space at this point in time. You need to have 2 to 3 people in your network who will be sharing these kind of information. So when you're going for these kind of events, take your friends also. Take 1 or 2 of your friends. I'm not saying take the whole uh, company or your whole team together, but 1 or 2 of your friends. It could be from the same company, it could be from a different company. Take them, introduce them to the event, compare notes. So if I had to do it strategically, what I would do is I would concentrate only on, let's say there are 11 companies coming. I would say I'll take the 6 companies, you take 5 companies, let's compare notes, because then you get enough time to concentrate more on the specific companies that you want to target. So that is one strategy that I would definitely use. I'll let you know what happened in 24 November. There was a very large event. 1,708 AI experts. It was a Microsoft event. Um, were present during that event. We had around 20 speakers, top people in the AI space, and they were talking about everything that I was passionate about. But before the event, I decided. So you get the list of speakers for those events. So before the event, I got a list of who are the speakers, and I decided I was going to listen or go to only 6 of those events. Unfortunately, I was able to attend only 5, but closer to what target that I had. The other thing was, in those speaker panels, I did a little bit of research as to who those speakers were. Right now, during this whole day event, it from morning 9 to evening 5 was the event, and after that, after the party was around till 6:30. During that time, I collected notes. I what they were speaking about. I gathered that information. 5 o'clock, when everybody was going for the party, what I did was I gathered all my notes, created one LinkedIn um, page or article, and what I learned during that session. Who are the speakers? I tagged those speakers, five of them. I sent five of them an invitation. Hey, I listened to your conversation. It was great. These are the points that I liked about it. These are things that I agree. One or two things that I didn't agree. I shared my thought process in that invitation. And I also created that page. Four of the five during that event, they accepted my invitation and liked, and for two of them I was able to have a conversation after the event. So among 20 people who were there in the event, my target was six. I went to five. I wrote a note about all those five people. So that is a part of giving, right? They don't know me. Why, if I send an invitation, why would they be in a position to accept my invitation or network with me? So the first thing that I did was I gave my platform or my network to them. So I exposed their thoughts or their ideas into my network. I introduced them, I shared what they shared, and I connected with I sent a connection request to five of them. Four of them accepted. So it is a pretty good number for a one-day event where I have spoken to top leaders and I was able to get connected with them. So that should be your strategy, not to interact with everybody in that particular session, but to make an impact and find out who are the real people that matter. So if you get to know which are the companies that are there, go to the website, understand what they're working on and how it relates to you, right? Those are uh, talking points for you. Any questions before we go further? 10 years in quality assurance, 5 years in market research, certified fitness trainer. Okay, Mariam Akbar, if you could give me one tip in the chat, what is one question that most of your clients ask you? We'll wait for her to respond to that. Okay. The fourth thing is, so, Mariam, I have to take your reference in the sense that is a common thing for me also. When you spend 8 hours on the chair, your lower back definitely hurts, right? Any kind of yoga is not going to help you. You do have a problem when you're sitting constantly, especially with all of us in the tech field. This is a common problem. So, if you have a problem with lower back, or if you think that you're going to have a problem with lower back, Mariam Akbar is the person, a fitness trainer that you need to reach out to. Mariam, please put your Instagram or LinkedIn in the chat and people will definitely reach out to you. Now, the fourth one is the who's that technique, right? If you know someone in that event, if you know someone is coming in okay, let's say ABC company is going to be there in that shot. You know someone from ABC company, and it's a simple thing. You go to LinkedIn, you check that particular LinkedIn connection of this person, ABC, who is from ABC company, and then you check whether from your connection anybody is working there or you have some common connections, and you ask your friend, can you use their name as an introduction? So let's say you go to the event. Let's say Parisa is there. I know Parisa is there, and I'm also going to the event. So let's say this one of the speaker is someone who has a large audience, and I go there and I ask Parisa, hey, since you're there, can you introduce me to this person, right? Parisa need not go and talk to this person. If Parisa says yes, then when I'm introducing myself, the first word that I would say is, Parisa introduced your name to me. I'm looking at great talent in the AI space. I would like to share some things about you. That is the connection. How do you connect the dots? Is this? It takes a little effort, but the impact is that person, because that person is also connected to Parisa and I also know Parisa. So it makes that engagement much better. So it becomes really for the person who gets introduced or who is introducing you, or to whom you have been introduced, to remember you because there is a common thread between the three of you. Someone you know is already there. So that is the whole thing about networking, right? You are looking to network to your advantage, right? This is a fun fact. Now, 89% of the hiring manager says that referrals matter when filling a role. This is LinkedIn data. Now, you might say that LinkedIn is doing this so that more and more people are there on the LinkedIn platform. I agree to that. There's a business sense in that. But if you look at data from other sources also, if you look at Twitter, if you look at the Gartner report also, there are a lot of research that comes to the same point that says that most of the positions are getting filled, especially in this day and age, because it's becoming very hard. Most of the resumes look similar because, uh, see, what we have done is we have created a new problem. When earlier, when there were 100 people who were applying, we had 100 different resumes. Now, what we have done is we used AI to create a template, and we have tried to fit all those 100 profiles into a template which looks like two or three different profiles or sets of profiles. So the recruiter, the hiring manager, and they're all seeing the same thing. So what are they relying on? So they're relying on referrals. Referrals in the last 2 years matter more than anything else. One, it reduces the cost of hire, in the sense, let's say there is a wrong hire. The average cost of a wrong hire is 15 to 20K. In the sense, I hired someone, I realized that it is a wrong hire in the second or third month. I had to let this person go. That is going to cost me 15 to 20K on an average. It could go more because based on the role. So that is something that hiring managers are looking to avoid. And that is why you would also find that the earlier 42-day period to close a role has increased to 61 or 62, because hiring managers are not making a decision. They are willing to wait for the right candidate. Earlier, it was like the fear of missing out. If I lose this candidate, someone else will pick him up. So let me close this position as fast as possible and bring him in, and I'll train him. The attitude or the model right now is I'm willing to wait for another 15, 20 days until I find the right candidate, because I don't want to have a wrong hire. So that is what hiring managers are doing. So for that, what they're doing is they're relying on referrals a lot. And this is an opportunity for you to network with the right kind of people. Use your uh, network also to come on stage and have these 11 companies together, connect with them strategically. Don't do it on a random basis. Figure out which other companies coming, find out, do a little bit of research. There is time for you to engage with them, find out what kind of companies are going, what projects they're doing, and then be prepared for those interview sessions. Or I would say um, it's a matchmaking, right? You are putting your face, you are introducing yourself directly to them. You just want to see whether it's a good fit after that, right? So in any interview, and especially in these kind of engagement, you also have an opportunity to interview them. You can ask the kind of question. If you ask any person in the hiring team or the tech team at the stalls, they're not going to say, hey, I don't know, have an answer for that, right? They're going to respond to you with answers. So this is the easiest way to get responses for any of the queries that you have regarding this company. In the chat section, if you could give me what is your introduction style, or how do you introduce yourself in 2 lines max? If you could write in the chat, how would you introduce yourself in 2 lines, right? If you could do that, that would be helpful, in the sense I could see whether I can enhance it by adding some points, right? While asking for referral, asking someone, can you introduce me to someone hiring for ABC company is very specific rather than asking whom should I talk to. Now, let's say you know a person in ABC company and you want to ask referral. If you say, can you introduce me to someone hiring for data scientist role or an AI engineer role is very, very specific because that means that that person, if he wants to help you, is going to find out who is connected to the data science or AI roles and will connect you with that. If I ask, who should I talk to in your company? That is a very big question. So what happens is, like AI, the output that you get from this networking event is uh, directly proportional to the questions that you ask. So ask relevant questions. And to the fifth one. So I said there are only five things. So we are winding up with the first. So the last one is treat the business cards like a dossier. When you get a business, I don't know how many of you have business cards. Uh, doesn't make sense, maybe, definitely, but right now, if you don't have it, right, treat your LinkedIn profile as your business card. Have you put thought into are the colors right? Is the name right? Is your designation right? Are there spelling mistakes? Is your elevator pitch right? If you're marketing yourself or you're giving think putting the marketing hat on, would you use your LinkedIn profile as your business card? Would you send it out to a VP of engineering? Would you give it to a VP of engineering saying, hey, this is my LinkedIn profile, have a look at it? Would you do that? Is your LinkedIn profile your business card right now? If not, you have time to improve on it, right? So those are things that you should definitely look at. The reason I'm saying, so even at a time when I was very active on LinkedIn, I did have a business card because just because of the feel of it. Now I don't have it, I don't use it as much, but I treat my LinkedIn as my business card. So whenever anybody, that's why I asked you to have your LinkedIn app on your phone. It has a feature in the search. There is a box where you can give, you can scan the other person's profile. You don't need to there's a QR code. Using the QR code, you can scan the other person's profile and send an invitation. Another thing that whenever you're sending an invitation to a person, never, never, never just send an invitation. Always send it with a text. Why are you reaching out? Simple reason is that that enables the person who is, let's say you're sending it to me, right? I cannot accept invitation because I have reached LinkedIn max limit. So LinkedIn has a max limit for the number of connections that you have. You can follow me, but you cannot send, even if you send an invitation, I will not be able to accept it. But if you send me an invitation with a text saying that, okay, I attended your session today and I would like to connect with you. Even if I'm not able to accept your invitation, I would definitely respond or reply to that. What it does is then going forward, you will be able to message me. If you do not send it, then I will, there are only two options, either accept your connection, which I cannot, or reject your invitation. So it does not allow me to communicate with you. So whenever you're sending a LinkedIn invitation, always send it with a text as to why. The why is very important. Why do you want to connect with me? It's very important, especially in an age where it becomes very easy using AI to automate these kind of things. So do not use AI-based messaging. This is something that I perfected over many years. I used to get around 89 to 92 percentage conversion. In the sense, every invitation that I sent, I would get around 89 to 92 percentage conversion on that, right? Post COVID, that has reduced to 68 to 70 percentage. So I roughly, if I send 10 invitations, I would get 7 acceptation, right? So that is typically what happens. Now I cannot add anybody into the network, but I'm saying that is what the metrics looks like. 57% of professionals still consider a business card essential to networking, especially if you are in product sales, not engineering so much, but in product and sales, people still do carry their um, business cards. 72% judge a company by the quality of the card, how good those cards are, right? I judge people by the quality of their LinkedIn profile. So that is me, especially using LinkedIn a lot and also being in the recruitment space. So this is something that I mentioned initially also. When you're introducing yourself, so LinkedIn has a character limit. When sending the invitation. So be mindful when you're sending those invitations. It has a character limit. Beyond, I don't remember how many characters it is. I think it is 300 characters. But beyond that, it will let you know that if you have exceeded the character limit of a LinkedIn invitation. Be short and sweet. Your name definitely for everybody when you're introducing yourself in this event, introduce with your full name, right? My name is Sajithkumar Swaminathan. The reason being is, yeah, I want people to remember me either by my face, by my name, so that at a later point in time you remember it is. So I'll give you a fun fact about my name. So S. Sajith Kumar Swaminathan, right? So S is always, Ajit means victorious, Kumar is son of King of Kings. So my name is always victorious, Prince of King of Kings. So that is my name in short. So now you'll remember my name, right? So you don't have to create something of your name, but it's just an anecdote that I shared, right? So recruiters remember this. When you're hiring managers, to the hiring manager, when you're introducing yourself, right? What, like I mentioned, now Maria mentioned that she's a fitness trainer. So immediately, even after the conversation, you will remember that okay, fitness trainer. So you're relating AI tech woman in the event, fitness trainer. So you're connecting all those dots together. And she also shared a LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to check her LinkedIn profile, right? Whether I ask her to help me on tips or not. But that is how you connect the dots, and how you make yourself more memorable. So that's it. 5 simple steps. The thing is, you don't have to do all 5 at all. You can pick up one thing that you have learned or one thing that is suggested here and try to implement that one strategy. It is going to help you. You did not implement all 5 because you would not remember how to do all 5 together. Take one, implement it to perfection. Try the others during your next networking events. That is definitely going to help you. 5 steps. The more that you use it, or however you use it, it will become a habit for networking. What's it, old friend, share your gifts, who's that, and the dossier, right? What's it is some unique thing that you're going to wear. Like I said, don't wear a flashy yellow, fluorescent green, but something that people will recognize. Some people do wear their traditional headgear. I wouldn't wear a hat. Very early in my career, things that I used to do was, for all networking events, I would go with a blue shirt, and people gradually recognized me as the person in a blue shirt. I've stopped doing that, but that is something that has made me stand out. Okay, so those are simple things. So what's it is, how do you breed that familiarity? Old friend is you met someone there, correlated it with someone that you have read about, you're passionate about, or you have as a friend. Connect that with an old person, you will remember it. Share your gifts. Give before you ask. What can you share about the event? What can you share about the organizers of those events? How much effort that they have taken? So this is something that I will definitely tell you will get you better reach. You go to the event, collect all the information, network like crazy, connect with a lot of equally minded people who are passionate about AI, have conversations with them, have lively conversation with them. End of the day or the next day, write a report as to how that Woman in AI Canada event changed your life. Tag the sponsors, tag the organizers, tag the company, and put it out. The reason I'm saying this is Woman in AI Canada has close to 90K followers. In one LinkedIn message, your profile goes or your post will reach at least 70 to 80% of them. So that is one strong method of bringing being more visible, right? Pick up one, see whether it works. Real connection beats clever lines every day. With AI, you can build a great marketing piece, but your handshake, your smile, your name is what people are going to remember, right? It's not the greatest marketing piece. Of course, if you do marketing every day, you market yourself regularly as an engine. If you have the time and the money, that makes impact. But for a networking event, what people will really remember is the person that you are. This is one tip from my book. Use novelty to stand out when introducing yourself or your work. Try to express your ideas in a unique way to capture attention. Spend some time. Anyway, you're going to go for a whole day event. You're going to spend 6, 7 hours for the event. Spend around half an hour, 1 hour preparing for that. Rewrite your tell me about yourself story. Add interesting anecdotes to it, and devise unique ways to capture attention, right? The human brain is naturally wired to pay attention to novelty, so introducing a fresh concept or a new phrase can make you much more memorable to the people whom you speak with, right? Happy networking. Do a follow the people whom you have networked, you have connected, or who have made impact for you. You don't need to connect with all the 11 companies or all the 20 people you meet during the session, but people who made an impact, definitely reach out to them, tell them how they made an impact, and see how you can continue the conversation. The reason that I put the rumblings of a recruiter is it's called the butterfly effect. You throw something that you throw today, you will see the ripple effects of it at a later point in time. So if you're going for a career change, 3 months, 4 months, next quarter, next year, you need to throw that stone right now, create that ripple effect, build that network, and then stand out. So that is the whole idea about having this session. Thank you for listening. Any questions? And I would be happy to answer any of the queries that you have. Okay, I have from Maiko Ribong. Hi Sajid, many newcomers in Toronto have prior professional experience such as 3+ years in data analytics abroad, but spend their first few years Canada working survivors such as this. How can they position themselves? Um, Definitely, hiring managers know that there is a transition phase. You might have picked up a particular. So how do you highlight it, right? Now, this is what a person who was driving Uber, he was into tech support and he added into his driving experience. And he wrote that he was great at, so he had around 4.8 stars. He mentioned that I have 4.8 stars in Uber. Um, I have met CEOs of companies. I have had conversations with experts. I have met with many people in Canada from different walks of life. I know how to engage with clients. I know how to build engagement with stakeholders, right? That was the only thing that he mentioned in his experience as a driver. He had put that on top of his experience because he wanted to show that whatever experience that you have, definitely put it in a resume until you get the first job. You can remove that at a later point in time. The best example that I have is NVIDIA founder. If you go to NVIDIA founder's LinkedIn profile, you would see that his first job in as a dishwasher is something that he has put in his LinkedIn profile. He is right now worth, I think, around close to 70, $80 billion. But if you go to his LinkedIn profile, you will find that he worked as a dishwasher and he has put there. It is a very um, important story that he constantly tells in all his sessions. Whatever work that you have done, be proud of it, highlight it. How do you want to tell the story is up to you. I hope that I answered that, Michael. Now let's see whether we have any other questions. Okay. Should there be different strategies for those who are getting into their mid-career training experience and now they are transitioning into AI, wealth executive, or other field? Yes. Mariam, the transition phase from let's say you're not into AI, transitioning to AI or any other field is double the challenge in 2026. Reason being, people are they're open to look at transferable skills, but unless it is through a referral, hiring managers are finding it very difficult to give a chance. The reason being that, let's say you say that you have all the transferable skills to get into an AI role, but the market is saturated where I have people with 3 years of experience in AI. The hiring manager's decision is to go plug and play, in the sense, I get a person, the person comes in 2 weeks in the system, he or she knows what the problem is, they are giving ROI, right? The gap that a person who with transferable skills, the learning curve might be a little bit higher, 2 months, 3 months. Companies are not willing to spend that much time in that, because it's a race right now who can get their products out the fastest, and because of that, it is becoming a challenge to showcase the transferable skills. The best way is to get that thing done is rely heavily on your network, get an introduction who can vouch saying that, yes, I know Mariam is a great at tech skills. She has also gained a lot of AI skills. She might be a good fit for the team. That is the safest bet when you're transitioning to a new role. I hope I answered that, Maria. Okay. Any tip for recent? I did electrical engineering 15 years ago in high school. Now I did my master's. In last time looking for jobs, any tips for recent graduates? Okay, masters in AI. Okay, Maliha, if you're looking at, you have done your masters in AI, I would, the first thing that I would ask you is, have you done your co-op or internship? If you have not done it, try to get at least a 3 months or a 6 months co-op and internship before getting into a job search. The job search market for new grads is very, very difficult uh, without experience. So I would say, while you're doing your job search, two things that you have to do: build a portfolio, gain practical experience, do work, in the sense, even if it is as a volunteer, intern, whatever it is, get your hands dirty to get those entry level jobs, right? And leverage your 15 years of experience. That 15 years of experience, how have you done it? So let's say it is you're building something, have your personal projects, build something that is related to what you have done previously, correlated. I recently built a AI project where it lesson plans, it's very easy to create lesson plans. You give them the syllabus, you give them the class, and it will create a lesson plan for teachers. I used AI to do that, right? Because so relate it, show how your past experience can help, and also shift focus from looking at only tech companies, look at non-for-profit organizations, which will evaluate your 15 years of teaching experience, right? That will definitely help you. uh, so Leighton is asking, can an IT leader with 20 years of experience outside of Canada get into a senior IT job without I would never say never, in the sense, I'm not going to say it is impossible, Leighton, but it is going to be really difficult in getting a senior job. Any job, if without Canadian experience, which requires you to hire and fire people, if you don't have that experience in Canada, that is going to be really difficult, because the challenge is, even if it is a small team, let's say I built a small team of 2 to 3 players, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time to build that team, right? And I'm bringing you in to manage that team, where you have the opportunity to hire and fire people, right? The challenge that I'm going to have is, do you have that experience in doing it in Canada? Otherwise, in order to solve one problem, I am going to create two problems, right? No hiring manager is willing to take that risk. So you need to ensure what level you want to get into. So the any tips for students that just completed undergraduate first year in computer science, going through second year in September, how to get into co-ops? Okay. So I don't know from which college you're doing your second year. Whichever college you have, if you go to your LinkedIn profile, there is a tab called as go to your college profile on LinkedIn. There is a tab called as the alumni tab. In the alumni tab, so this is 2026. So look at your seniors, super seniors who are passed in 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021. Find out where these people have landed jobs in which companies, and every day from now on till you get your co-op, connect with these people. Your marketing pieces. Hey, I noticed that you have studied in Toronto University. I am currently doing my second year this year. Would like to connect with you. I see that you have started your working in ABC company. Love to connect with you. Use your college as a reference to connect with your super seniors and ask them for a reference in their companies. That is the easiest way to get co-ops. Any tip for how to pass on through ATS filters? If you don't use, it seems a filter. Okay. 68% of people, companies in North America right now use ATS, AI in ATS. So there are AI filters that is there. AI does not filter the candidate out. What AI does is AI gives weightage for the candidate based on. Now, earlier it was keyword, now it is not keyword. In the sense, now the AI has become smart enough to find out whether, based on the job description, based on the sector, the domain experience, whether your profile is a good profile or not. It will rank as to who the recruiter should see first. So what it does is it will look at the top candidates that the recruiter will see, and it your if your profile is not up to the mark, it will be ranked very lower. So unless that role is very critical, where they are not, the recruiter is not getting in the right kind of candidates, if it is in your profile is at the bottom of the filter, there is less chance that the recruiter will even see your profile, right? So there is no way to pass the ATS filter. You can use AI tools, or you could use tools like Resume Word. There are tools, if you just Google, there are tools that will give you an ATS score. So based on the ATS score, anything above 75 to 80 is a good ATS score to have. So if your profile matches the job description, that is something that you, again, I come back to the networking again and again, because AI and automated system is trying to create an additional barrier. How do you beat that system is only through networking. So rather than focus only on how to beat a tech system, I would say how to find ways how you can leverage on your network, right? That is going to help you, because see, that is how, if only 20 to 25 percentage of companies are hiring through applications, and there are 70 to 75 percentage of hiring is being done through referral or other methods, and you're concentrating your effort only on that 25 percentage and trying to figure out the best technology to beat that 25 percentage, I think the strategy is wrong. So change the strategy. If I don't have referrals, what strategy should I have? Every posting always have 100 applications. Find out what is the best time to apply. So typically LinkedIn jobs are Monday second half or Tuesday to Thursday, right? So and typically it is early morning and post 4 o'clock or evening. Those are the times that those LinkedIn posts get populated. Be the first line, the first in the line, and see whether you are at the top of the list. Uh, just to ensure that you are below the 100 plus applicants. Where can you find those internships? I can approach individual companies and email them internship. It is mostly internship opportunities are mostly in the company website alone. They are not posted on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn posting costs money, and companies don't post their internship or co-op or even junior roles on LinkedIn. So it is either on the company page, or before that itself, it is shared through the internal company network, and it gets filled pretty quickly. So let's say I have an internship position, I will share it with my employees internally. I would roughly get around 25 to 30 applications within a day from internal without posting outside. And then if I want to post it outside, is what that is. How is JobScan as a tool? I use JobScan to find the ATS score. It is a reliable tool just to understand whether it has the relevant keywords. I'll give you an example. If you're looking at a Python developer for a banking domain, right? And if banking is not mentioned and Python is mentioned, it will give 50 score on that, right? But if I put wealth management and if I put investment management and others, it is not directly related to banking, but it is in a sister field or a similar kind of a field. So recruiters will definitely look at a profile, even though you have a lesser score because it doesn't have the word banking. But the recruiter will definitely shortlist a profile if you have all the other skills, if it is in wealth management or investment. So don't rely on the on the tool score just because of what it throws out to you. That is just a benchmark for you how to improve it. Do not use it thinking that that is going to make a huge difference in your job application. Thanks for the how do you advise if you should apply for mid-level and lower level like teacher? Mid-level Mid-level, I would so Leighton, based on your questions, if you have 20 years of experience, you need to skim off some. Let's say you're highlighting what you did at the beginning of your career. That wouldn't make any sense. So make it shorter. I'm not saying asking you to remove it. No need to mention what you did 20 years back. Just mention which company, what was the title, but highlight only the last 10 years and make it relevant to the roles that you're applying. It has to be highly surgical. Apply only for the roles that match your profile and ensure that don't go for lower level IT jobs, go for mid level, but be very surgical in the sense your profile matches exactly to the roles that you're applying for. Don't just randomly apply for anything that you think you might be a good fit for. Sudha, would you mind sharing some advice on someone who is currently working as a senior manager one of Canada Five Bank, is planning to transition into government of Canada for a greater job? I really appreciate his lesson from my experience. Sudha, if you are asking if it is a good opportunity, that depends upon see job stability. Even if it is government of Canada, I'm not sure whether that job stability is a factor. It of course the downside is from a tech perspective, right? Let's say you're working on cutting edge technologies in a bank. The tech debt in a government of Canada environment might be higher. So in the sense you might not be working on the latest technology. So 2 years down the line, would you consider yourself competitive enough to jump back to the private sector? Those are things that you need to weigh. It is all personal choice. You want a stable environment, you want some discipline or some stability, go for it, right? Fatima, if you're looking at resume helping session, you will have to just visit sajithkumarswaminathan.com. I do have sessions or I do help out in resume sessions. Typically, I would ask you to do it using any tool. Feedback, it's very simple. Go through your resume, see whether what are the, go through the job description. Okay, this is a simple thing that you can do. Let me see whether I have it with me. Where did I put it? Okay, if you go to the um, this post, right, where this event was posted, I've put 3 prompts as to how to make your resume better. I've already posted the prompts. Put your resume, put your job description, and ask for suggestions. It will help you make the resume better. But I would say evaluate each line that is being mentioned before you send it out to the hiring managers. Thank you for your time. I'm sure I exceeded. Um, this it the template, the prompt template is put in the post, that is Women in AI Canada um, LinkedIn page where they have posted about this event. I put the prompts there. Go ahead and make your I've also put some networking prompts there that will help you network better. I hope that you network better strategically and ensure that there are some takeaways or ROI from that event. Wish you all the best and success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sajid Kumar. I know I learned a lot from you today, but hopefully everyone could make most of it and use whatever they learned today and next Tuesday at the event. Thanks again, Sajid Kumar, and hope to have you for our next event.
Nice. Thank you for having me for this session and looking forward to connect on other things. Take care.
As well. Take care.
Take care.